Hi, these are the things that I'm going to show you in this video. Although it can be a little bit all over the place, there are timestamps below so you can skip to wherever you want. I hope you stay tuned and enjoy this video. It's a long video. Testing this controller from a casual gamer perspective. Testing some games since this controller allows the triggers to simulate different in-game experiences. Okay, finally, let's start. I thought this was the back of the box at first. This is the Flydigi Apex 4 Elite Gaming Controller. It's packed with features that I likely am not familiar with, since I'm not a pro gamer, just a casual gamer. But I'm intrigued by the technology and expensive controllers. Like here, innovative force adjustable alloy joystick, interactive screen, 1000 Hz polling rate, innovative forced feedback trigger, and I'm happy that the box is not dented in transit. Here, see, could you tell? I thought this was the front, but no, it's the other side. Rule the game. For an old man like me, maybe, unlikely. A very nice logo. Design of the year, 2024. It's supposed to be the world's first joystick with adjustable tension. Notice this package does not come with a plastic bag covering the controller. Therefore, dust everywhere. Imagine dust fiber from this white cardboard infiltrating the controller, with the package being stacked under and over other boxes, and every bump in transit being handled, moving from place to place, and so forth. And my question is, why Flydigi? Anyway, after all that air blowing, this is such a nice controller. Have a closer look at the trigger, which I will be testing it. Closer look around. It also comes with this USB-C to USB-A cable, braided, premium quality. It's very nice. However, this dongle is very cheaply made, I'm sorry to say. I just really hope that it works and lasts very long, because I will be using it mainly. I do like that it has the company's logo. However, I don't like the white color at all. See what else comes in the box. Everyone seems to love copying what Apple does. A brochure and an instruction manual. Again, I do have video chapters below, so you can skip to wherever you want to. But I hope you stay tuned all the way through. But I do understand it's a very long video. For this user manual, they don't have the PDF form online. Not that I can find it, which I would have put the link to it. So have a quick look at this manual. You could pause or skip it at any time. Imagine a brand new gadget, sleek and mysterious. Open the user manual, it's like finding a hidden treasure map. It can help you unlock the potential of the device. So I always like to read the manual of each of the gadgets that I own. This is for creative purposes. You can make a signature or written logo, scratched or etched on it, and place it underneath the see-through plastic of the controller. That creative logo can be placed right here. The controller has a familiar layout. It's distinctive and eye-catching because of this see-through plastic design. The bounce back of these joysticks is not like anything I've experienced on other controllers. The ABXY buttons are very clicky, very nice, very satisfying presses. The sound of the button pressed nicely complements the tactile feedback, unlike many on other controllers. The directional pad is also very clicky. Textured grips, back buttons, very nice. The amount of pressure required to press them is just right. I like the location of the on-off switch. Force feedback triggers that are adjustable. Not quite satisfying as other presses. I'll be testing them out on games to see if it's more satisfying to press. I'm sure the bouncing back of these sticks not only add a satisfying tactile sensation, but also helps prevent accidental inputs or drifting issues that can occur with traditional joysticks. Damping adjustment here, it's force adjustable for the sticks. Right there also. Again, the bouncing back of the sticks is very satisfying. Shoulder buttons, not bad, but not the best. Just tiny bit mushy. I can tell that the plastic used in the shoulders and the triggers on this game controller fall in the middle range between cheap and high-end, meaning the plastic is okay. These back buttons are not too stiff or mushy, just a good balance. I really like them. Not so much for the triggers. I don't know why. It feels hollow when pressing them. We'll see when playing games. Alright, I'm going to remove the see-through faceplate. To do that, you'll have to remove the thumbsticks and the D-pad. But let's take a look under the thumbstick. I'm glad to see the ring enforcement on this because the plastic will likely not endure the pressure we put on it. Now I know how the thumbsticks lock on there. Have a look at my sketch. The bottom of the D-pad has a similar design as the thumbsticks. The inner rectangle, to me, is for reinforcement since the plastic is so hollow, and for alignment and locking the pieces together. Okay, now I can remove the see-through faceplate, and you are getting to see the struggle unedited. It's supposed to be magnetic, and there you go. And we'll take a look underneath. And here are the magnets all over the place. Here's the backside cover of the interactive screen. Love that the interactive screen eliminates the need for physical button combinations to access certain settings. I'll show you that later. Magnet here, there, and everywhere. I guess they are definitely preventing the slippage or accidental slip off of the faceplate. The plastic on the main body is definitely more well made than the shoulders and the triggers because they're thicker basically. Here's the adjustment tool. It's nicely tucked in magnetically. Here's where you do it. I'll leave it alone for now. After I play some games, I'll see what adjustment I would need to make. Here's part of the vibration motor mechanism. I'll see how this works. I have no idea why it's smaller on this side. No matter. Hopefully it helps to create more realistic and immersive gaming experience. Let's put this back on. Satisfying snap, satisfying this, satisfying that. Hopefully this new gaming controller can spark a lot of joy and excitement for me since I'm an old man, a game controller noob, and not a pro gamer. But I'm still a guy who used to play games, Atari, Commodore 64, NES. Do you know or remember all that? The process of modding and changing things up for a controller can be incredibly satisfying. There is a lot more to look forward to in this video, like what adjustments can be done for the controller with the PC Flydigi Space Station app. Anyway, you can have a look at how I put back the thumbsticks. The longer tooth facing you, then just click right on. Alright, on to charging the controller. I have this quick adapter system. I have a lot of them that I use for all my gadgets. This small piece going to the USB-C port. This larger piece is to be connected to the cable. Mind you, you can also use this system for wired controlling. since it's data transferable. Anyway, now I can charge my controller quickly, magnetically. When connected to be charged for the first time, you'll see the charging bolt. But when you check upon it, you will no longer see the charging bolt, but rather you'll see the actual charging left that you have to wait. Once charging is complete, you'll see the word charged. Alright, let's try our first test on an iPad, testing a couple of games on an iPad. Here, if it comes with Chinese language, all you have to do is press the home button first and scroll to the gear icon and select the second one on the first column. And then press A, and there you can see English language. Select that and press A. Now you're good to go. And I will show you what was under the gear icon and what was selected. Under the gear icon is setting, and the second one in the first column is language. Press B to cancel out. For an iOS device, just go to connect and select iOS, even though the iPad now has iPad OS. On the iPad, go to Bluetooth in the settings, make sure your controller is on, and you can see Xbox wireless controller. That's a vibration from the controller indicating that it is on. I will go for a racing game first. For accelerating using the trigger, I noticed there is no forced feedback. However, when I drive off track, I can feel the vibration. Grinding sound that you hear, I feel the vibration. It's not very intense, but it's okay. Also, you may want to pay close attention to see whether there is any Bluetooth lag. In another video, my other controller, the GuliKit King Kong 3 Max, someone pointed out the Bluetooth lag. Here's the clip. See if you can tell. Let's have a look at another game. With this game, it may be easier to notice if there's any Bluetooth lag, because the continuous character movement makes any stuttering or lag caused by Bluetooth delays more apparent compared to games where the character might be stationary for extended periods. If there is any lag, it's quite minimal compared to the GuliKit one. Here, have a look at the clip for this game. See if you notice any lag. Congrats! I think Flydigi did a pretty good job with the Bluetooth connection. Alright, let's move on to wired connection and go on the Gamepad tester website for test buttons and triggers, verify joystick movement, and circularity test. And as you can see, it detects Xbox controller 360 with X input standard gamepad. Here you can see the trigger is pressure sensitive since the numbers are not just 0 and 1. Rather, you see numbers close to 0 indicating that there is almost no pressure on the trigger, and the numbers close to 1 indicating the trigger is almost fully pressed. The shoulder buttons 0 and 1 registering as on and off, A, B, X, Y buttons, and the D-pad 0 and 1. The values under each axis number normally range from -1 to +1. -1 corresponds to maximum movement in one direction. 0 corresponds to center position. +1 corresponds to maximum movement in the opposite direction. This is to show how smoothly and accurately the joysticks register movement across all directions. Ironically, I do found average error on both joysticks. And the percent errors are typical for many joysticks on a controller. However, check out the GuliKit King Kong 3 Max. The stick's movement can achieve 0% average error. Anyway, back to the Flydigi Apex 4. Will there be any software update to achieve average error percent of 0? Just want to test the wireless dongle with a press or two, one press or two presses. That would be all. Before I do, I want to point out why I don't like the color white on this dongle. I think it's too obvious. Looks like my computer is having a cigarette. Anyway, let's have a look quickly using the dongle. Notice it recognizes as Flydigi Vader 3. You want to go to connect and select more and X input with the dongle icon in the front. And there you go, Xbox controller. Looks like it's working just fine, very responsive. And now on Steam, let's see what it picks up as the controller. Well, there you go, Xbox 360 controller. However, in the Windows settings, it picks up Flydigi Vader 3 again. One thing I noticed, during gaming, the color lights on the controller change. I think we can make some changes in the Flydigi Space Station app, which I will explore next. So let's do that now. Just Google Flydigi Space Station. Go to Flydigi website. Here you can see Flydigi Space Station version 3.2.1.1 supporting the Apex 4. Just download that. Just install it. And finish. And it sees that it's connected wirelessly, by the way, using the dongle. This is way too much for me, quite overwhelming, but I am interested. There are triggers to configure: general mode, sniper mode, racing mode, oh boy, vibrator works. Joystick to configure: default, classic, instant delay, custom, no idea what the units of the X and Y axis. Buttons to configure, just too much. For shooting, for fighting, and for racing. Motion sensing, racing, FPS. It seems to save immediately after you select. Test. Again, this is wireless connection using the dongle. I believe this is for Nintendo Switch mode configuration. Adaptive trigger and list of games right now that can utilize it. I would play the games on this list that I have before turning the adaptive on to see the difference. Here you can change the GIF on your interactive screen, or use the ones that you make yourself. And there's a lot more here. I'll try one out and see. I'll try the pony in front of the rainbow. Unfortunately, it needs to be wired to get it. Anyway, fast forward into the future, I was able to do it with the cable. Have a look. Unfortunately, it does take some time to upload it onto the controller. Therefore, I will fast forward it for you. There you go. Apply, succeed. I may consider making my own GIF or GIF for this controller. Anyway, moving on to update what I can for the controller. I do now using the cable to connect it for all the updates, and I recommend that you do it as well. Done with software version. And done with controller version. And run with trigger version. And lastly, done with the LCD version. And now desktop game testing with Cyberpunk 2077. Right now I have not turned on the adaptive trigger for this game. However, I do get the rumble or the vibration only when I'm driving off-road. Pressing the triggers to accelerate and decelerate just feels normal, meaning I don't have to press them with force or pressure. Again, they feel hollow when pressing them. Have a look at what's spinning inside the grip. Now I will turn on the adaptive trigger for the game. Yep, I can definitely feel the difference. I need to press it with force to accelerate or decelerate. This is quite nice. I like it. I did try to mess around with the motion sensing feature and my config with shooting. But nothing really came of it, unfortunately. Again, I'm sure I didn't know what I was doing. Let me try Lords of the Fallen. It's not in the list of the adaptive trigger, but I want to try it. There's vibration feedback. This game, I really want to get into it, but I haven't got the time, but I kind of figure out the control scheme a bit. Not yet all of it. If I don't keep playing, I'll forget for sure. I believe this game used Unreal Engine 5. It looks really good. Right here, this is quite interesting right around here. The vibration that you can hear is supposed to emulate the character's heartbeats pulsing. So right here, I can really tell you that compared to the Ghoulie Kit King Kong 3 Max, it's not as intense. It's not as powerful rumble. Basically, it's not as good, disappointingly. Anyway, this is basically all I got to share. It's such a long video, the longest I've ever done. So I appreciate you stay tuned this long. And so I want to say thank you. Hope you come back for the next video.